Libra, welcome to a full moon reading for you guys for the full moon in Leo, February 12th, coming right up here. Full moon energy is really potent 3 days before, 3 days after. So really like the full arc as the moon is really filling full and kind of just starting to wane. So we'll get a little energy update here for you guys, see where you're at and how you can best take advantage of it. Leo as a sign, as an archetype, is about being really heart-centered leadership, taking care of other people, being in joy, about spending time with those you love, treating them, treating yourself, extravagance, play, kiddos, being very fashion forward. Leos, I love my Leos. Okay, Libra, so let's see what you guys got going on here. Of course, as always, feel free to watch your rising, moon, sun sign, your personal planet sign, so Venus, Mars. And if someone you know is a Libra, this could be really helpful for you as if you were a cross watcher, what someone else got going on that's in your life. So Libra, let's get a vibe for you. What is your current energy as we come into this full moon? Strength, really beautiful. So sometimes the strength card shows up when we have been strong, when we're feeling strong, and sometimes it shows up when we are not feeling strong and we are having to imbue strength into the moment, right? When we're having to be strong, when we're having to ground ourselves through a tough time or a transition or something that's like not super comfortable for us. And strength is also about, I really love this sun and moon and star image here. It's like, how integrated can we be through a challenging time? How much can you hold your tongue when you really want to say something very curt or very strong and bring in your heart to that space and say it in a way that's like productive for everyone, right? Strength is about inner strength and knowing when and how to say something to get something done. Traditionally, right, it's the card with like the woman holding the lion's mouth. And so it's like our heart really guiding the words that we say that can be strong and powerful and leadership. So we'll see how that integrates with the rest of your reading here. What have you been manifesting since the new moon? What have you been bringing into your life? Okay, great. The 5 of Cups in reverse. You have been manifesting the best of your circumstances, Libra. And if you're watching this and you're like, it hasn't really been the best recently, well, that's exactly what the 5 of Cups in reverse is talking about. Focusing on what is here versus what's not, focusing on the cups that aren't spilled versus those that have, focusing on the opportunities that are at hand versus the ones that you want or that you've lost or that are no longer yours. This could speak a little bit to energy that you're stuck in not seeing that, right? The 5 of Cups is about like spilled cups, like lost opportunities, but that we still have a couple of cups full here. There could be grief, there could be sadness, there could be a sense of loss with the 5 of Cups, but it's all about our attitude and about where we are directing our vision or our focus, because always with the 5 of Cups, there is still opportunity on the table, even if the majority of what you wanted or were hoping for is not there anymore. It is about a loss, but it's also about directing our attention to what's already there. And the 5 of Cups as a card here is asking us to like focus, like where are you focusing? So when we see it in reverse, you've made a decision. I'm feeling like most of you have decided on really seeing the value of where you are, who is surrounding you, the opportunities you have. But there could be a group of you or a few of you here that are really kind of maybe stuck in the blues. We'll go on and see kind of how the rest of the reading turns out, and this might become apparent with the rest of the cards, but it would also relate to the strength card. There could be a situation here you've been having to be strong for. I feel like maybe family. Are you guys going through some family situation where you're having to be strong for other people? Let's see. What would be healthy or fabulous for you to let go of for the full moon, to release this full moon? The Hierophant. Ooh, amazing. I love a Hierophant in reverse, or like letting go of the Hierophant. As a little rebel, I guess, in my own way, I rebel against traditional schools of thought oftentimes. I mean, if you're watching a tarot reading, you probably know the vibe. You probably know what I'm talking about. The Hierophant represents higher schooling, people who have the keys to our knowledge or our wisdom and whom you subscribe to in order to get that wisdom, right? So it's like going to school, going to see a mentor, going to church. Sometimes the Hierophant represents established organizations in our society that tell us kind of like how to act or where to go in order to get the wisdom that we need. So you are letting go of those traditional methods, Libra. You're really letting go, being invited this full moon energy to release any ways that you feel like you have to do it from a traditional standpoint. You can figure it out in your own way, or maybe you're leaving school, or maybe you're transitioning from a certain therapist, or maybe you are, I don't know, transitioning out of a formalized way of education or learning here. But the invitation in this reading is to really just allow your true inner wisdom to come forward and to guide your actions rather than leaning into how someone else has done it or how it has traditionally been done before. Let's take marriage as an example. Sometimes the Hierophant can represent marriage, the institution of marriage. You're asked to, if you are anticipating a marriage or a union or a relationship here, then this card in this placement is really asking you to let go of any ways that it has to look traditionally. And I'm not talking about like, oh, no, you should be non-monogamous. Although if that hits the nail on the head, then like this reading is for you, that message was for you, maybe consider that. But I'm saying like, maybe you are at long distance and maybe it can look a different way than you thought and still be successful. It's asking you to throw out any traditional methods that aren't working for you and sub those for your inner truth, your personal truth, and what works best for you at this time. It's a really empowering energy, which is really kind of like where this Strength card is coming from. It's like, okay, great. Maybe some things didn't work out exactly as you were planning since the new moon in this manifestation period, in this new moon to full moon cycle. And you're really having to look at like where the chips have fallen. Okay, great. So a couple of them fell off the table, but I still have these available to play with. And I'm going to like rely on some inner strength here to see like how I can compile them into the perfect shape that I want for my next venture. What's coming forward for you? What are you manifesting, bringing in this full moon? The Conqueror of Wands. Okay, cool. Amazing energy. This is also like offers. This is someone potentially coming into your life with a lot of stamina, creativity, zing, bang, bam. Like there's something that's very like powerful, exciting. This could come out of the blue. This could be a surprise for you. This could absolutely be like a new lover. Just be very careful. Conqueror of Wands is the same card as the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is like a very passionate character. They might swoop you up into like a whole new business idea, right? Like, oh my gosh, okay, great. Like, you were going to go to business school and start this whole like finance course. Like, you know what, Libra, that's not for you. Obviously, you should just like get into fly fishing. I know you've never done it before, but like fly fishing is so fab right now. And like the rivers are flowing, and the Conqueror of Wands is a character that if you've never thought about fly fishing before and it's something they're excited about, they will convince you to like double down on investing. Like they are passionate, they are fiery, they are convincing, but they're also like the next day they're going to move on and talk to someone else and you're going to be left with a fly fishing business. So what are you bringing into your experience? A whole new influx of energy, of excitement, of ideas, of vitality, of creativity, potentially of sexuality. But be very strong in yourself, Libra, and discerning about what is good for you and what you need to set boundaries around. Take as much of this energy as you possibly want, as feels good to you. Have this like really switch up the vibe that you might have been in. This could have been maybe like a real heavy vibe or like a grieving process or something you've had to kind of like be strong through. And the Conqueror of Wands coming in here for you for the full moon energy is a person, or it's an opportunity, or it's something that flashes for you here during this cycle that really allows you access to a whole other part of yourself that you haven't been feeling in a while. So that is a really good feeling, and it can be intoxicating. Just be sure that as you interact with this vibe, this energy, this person, this opportunity, you double check. You make sure it's really what you want. You know the consequences, right? Like all of that with the Conqueror of Wands. Okay, overall vibe, and I feel like we're gonna get sort of an integration here, is, the Seven of Cups. Okay, amazing, exactly. So there's gonna be so many more options for you here. The Seven of Cups is about dreaming, daydreams, visions, all kinds of possibilities are open here for you, especially romantically, especially in love. I was going to say especially in relationships was like the thought that I had, but I said romantically. So this could absolutely be about relationships for you, or about new options coming through. If you've had to go through any kind of a breakup here or something that didn't work out romantically, know that once you kind of get through this period, there's definitely a new love interest coming in for you here, if that's what you're looking for. But you're also going to have a lot more opportunities to see what you want and kind of like have your pick of the litter. And the litter meaning your choices, your options, what you feel good about, right? Especially with this Hierophant card kind of being something you're letting go of this full moon. This is really telling you, Libra, that like the world is your oyster. Also, the Seven of Cups can be very nebulous. It can be a card of daydreaming and not reality. So just know that this is an amazing space to be in as you're dreaming, visioning, deciding on what you want to do next. But at some point, the encouragement with the Seven of Cups is to choose. So there might be a lot more options coming your way, or a lot more ways that you feel inspired. That's what I'm feeling here for you. It's like by the end of this full moon, or the arc of this full moon, you're really going to get a sense of being like inspired about a lot of new options. You know, if you were, what was the analogy we used here? If like the chips fell and a bunch fell off the table and you're kind of like, okay, great, what can I do with these chips that are here? There's going to be like a whole other influx of chips to work with here. But you have to decide who you work with, when you work with them, or what you work with and when you work with what. I'm really curious how this feels for you, or how this lands for you, Libra. There's a real sense of accomplishment from this Strength card, that you really doubled down on securing your base, securing yourself, really affixing yourself to a strong attitude. And even if you haven't felt that way, Spirit wants you to know, like sometimes I don't think I do so well through a transition time, right? Or I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I'd said that differently. And I'll talk to a friend about it and they're like, okay, but here's all the ways that like, even if you feel insecure about that, it actually sounds like you did amazing. It definitely sounds like you showed up and said what you need or wanted to, even if you don't feel like you did it to the best of your ability. So Libra, if that's you, and I know my sweetest, kindest, most beautiful Libras are oftentimes the last people to know how amazing you are. You will put a lot of other people before yourself, and you will also like have the least amount of self-interest right at the beginning. This is Spirit's way of saying like, you did it, girl. You strong. Like you really showed up for yourself or for other people, even if you don't feel that way. So especially if you didn't feel that way, like sit back and really take the congratulations or the relief or the comfort or the love that's coming through for you in this reading. It's really Spirit saying, I saw that you went through a tough time here and you showed up in a way that was like really admirable. And don't worry, you can do it your own way. You don't have to like continue to do something that doesn't feel good to you. And there is some real fire coming for ya, Libra. So enjoy this full moon. I'm super excited to see what it brings. Okay, last element card for you, or sorry, this is the Elemental Oracle. Last Oracle card for you to kind of get the vibe. Ooh, okay, North. This is, I forget what other sign this was, but if you're watching some of the other videos, your other sun, moon, rising signs, and you see this doubles down on the message for you of expansion, of like new territory, of like whole new ways of thinking, of new adventures, of starting something, and also like of growth, right? Think of our North Node in your astrology chart, or the North Star. It's like guiding us, leading us out of our comfort zone, into places we haven't been before, breaking free of what we know. And that can be a scary place, but it's also full of like brand new experiences and all of the growth that we possibly have. And you've manifested this. This is the one here. Lots of new opportunities coming here for you that are like bright and beautiful and really, truly just expansive in nature. So Libra, I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a fabulous full moon. And we'll catch you in the next one. I'm sending you so much love.